I'll have the first meander if nobody else wants it.
Well, the hive is on. I can add you for the next one.
All right.
Right, drag this out so you got an extra half a minute.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shadows Pub, and welcome to Pimp Your Post Thursday, taking place in the Steam at Ramble and streamed live on Rambling Radio on DLive. For those who are new to the show, you'll see a message I'm going to drop into the channel with instructions for an emoji you use to enter the queue. When I see the emoji, I will add you to the queue list and put another emoji by yours. If you want to see where you are in the queue, visit the DLive link. Be sure to mute the sound there if you're listening here. When your turn's called, you will drop your link in the text chat and come on to voice to tell us about your post. If you're unable to use voice, then you must have text ready to copy-paste into the text channel when you drop your link. There we go. We got the formal stuff done. And it kind of helps if I give you the link to the DLive. There we go. And the Hive, aka Jan. Go ahead.
Howdy. Okay, this post is in two sections if I remember right. The first section is I was kind of chasing people around in the server to give them a vote. If they didn't have a post up that was less than 4 days old, I would check back tomorrow and see if they'd put a post up, and then I'd go back on them and listen for promotion. Well, I kind of figured it's chasing people around too much and kind of being the mommy and stuff like that, that it's not my job to make sure that you get a vote. It's your job to make sure that you're posting on Steam basically on a regular basis. And if I'm chasing you, it's not going to encourage you to do that. So basically post at least once every 4 days or you have a chance of missing out on a vote. That's the first part. The second part is I was over at the Writer's Block last week and it was very interesting, being honest. And I'm sure I learned stuff, but I can't remember what it is I learned right now. I was over there and I was listening and I thought I was learning stuff. But at the end of it, I thought to myself, okay, what the fuck was all that? Because I don't know what the fuck just went on really. So I wrote the second part about that. But I wrote it in with a little joke explaining it at the bottom, which is something I heard a long time ago. And I couldn't tell you who told the joke. It's probably been told by thousands of people, thousands of places.
Okay. And did you tell the joke?
Well, the joke is there. It's down the end of the post.
Ah. So you're not going to share it live. You're going to make us read it.
Well, I can do if you want.
Go ahead.
Yes, because I got to make a phone call and I'm next. So read the joke.
Okay. Well, I was over there at the, like I said, at the Writer's Block, and at the end of it, it's kind of like you just had no clue. But while the conversation's going on, things are kind of making half sense to you, and you kind of piece together what's going on. So it turns out, 1 second.
Okay. Did we lose them?
No, I'm back. Okay. I just thought in case I didn't want to miss a line. Right. So I can reflect back on the screen now if I lose track of where I am. So anyway, if you're in Ireland, yeah, and you ask for directions, you're going to get something like you pull up on the side of the road, somebody's there walking, and you say, excuse me, I'm a bit lost. Can you tell me how to get to blah blah? In this case, the Phoenix Park. Now, the bloke you ask is probably going to go something like the Phoenix Park. And when they say that, they they say this in a questioning manner that, like, why do you want to go to the Phoenix Park type thing? Now, you're not sure if they're just verifying, like, that you said to Phoenix Park or if they want to know why, but you'll say, yeah, that's where they want to go. And probably the first thing he's going to say to you is, I wouldn't start from here if I was you. What you're best off doing is turning around, pulling a U here, driving down the road until you hit the lights and swing a left. Go straight on down until you meet the bridge. Now, don't go under the bridge, because if you go under the bridge, you'll end on the motorway, and that's no good for you at all. You'll end up with Sligo somewhere. So just before the bridge, there's two turns on the right-hand side. You take the last turn. And if you head on down that road for about half a mile, there's another set of lights. And if you swing a left there, that's the best place to start from, because just half a mile down that road, you'll see the Phoenix Park.
Yeah, that would be very similar to how they give directions in this area. I think it's something to do with a rural area. You give directions by landmarks, you don't give directions by streets and roads.
Yeah, but in Ireland, we'll tell you not to start from where you are.
I noticed that.
Well, that's kind of the same thing. You're sitting in the car and you're going to be thinking at the end, okay, what just happened there? Don't start from here. It's the kind of like the same thing where I do be sometimes.
They do the same thing in Alabama. They really do.
In the cities or in the rural areas?
Oh, it doesn't matter where. You can be, I live in Montgomery, and, I asked for directions once when I moved down here a few years back. And it's kind of paraphrasing, but this is essentially how I went. Okay, well, right now you're turned completely the wrong way. You're going to have to turn around, like go up to the light, flip around, and then you're going to go about 5 miles down the road, and it's not going to be, you're going to see where you got a Y intersection, and you're not going to go on the left-hand side. You're going to stick to the right. But right after the light at the Y, you're going to turn left, and it's going to go down a side street, and you're going to go down until you see the Eastmont Baptist Church on your right-hand side. Go past that, and then hang a right, and you're going to go down about 3 blocks. Now, you're going to be in downtown, so it's going to be one-ways. So you're going to be on a one-way street at that point. Keep going one way. Go down until you hit your first 2-lane road, and then turn left on that. And you're going to follow that all the way down until you get to the roundabout. You're going to go up the roundabout, turn on your second left, and then the county courthouse should be on your right-hand side after just a block.
Sounds pretty familiar.
Oh, yes, and sometimes and if you get to the barn, then you've gone too far, you have to turn around.
Well, you always have to give the gone too far directions.
Well, yeah, just in case.
Right, because if they miss, then if they see the red barn on the left-hand side, they know they went too far.
Well, if you get the wrong old-timer in this area and ask where I live, they'll start off by saying, she's on the old Tom Jones's place. I've lived here over 30 years, and he was dead for 10 years before I moved here. But it's still his place.
Yes. Well, see, here we have the old J and the new J highway. So it depends on who you ask directions to and how old they are, what they will consider Highway J and the new Highway J, which are two different roads going in different directions.
That's funny when you live in the South. I live in North Carolina, and I don't know if y'all know what the easement is. They have an easement goes up on. We lived up on top of the knob down North Carolina, and didn't have a name to the road up there. That easement, they decided to make that easement a road. The county said, "Well, you got 3 selections. Give us 3 selections for the name of the road." And they gave 3 selections, and we had an old dog. he only had 3 legs. His name was Boots. Boots, I think his name was. And out of 3 selections in the name, that's what they named the road. No Boots, he used to sit down at the end of the road and watch cars go by and everything. And that's what they ended up naming the Eastman, was after that old dog. And that's been 15 years ago. And that's still the name of that road to this day. And I remember that old 3-legged dog.
Okay. Thank you, Jan. Maybe 3, but for sure. Okay. So
Well,
It's
you
a
did
North
drag
Carolina thing.
you did drag that one out a bit.
that worked. So Snook, you're up for your first.
So this is the announcement that came out today. The post is very well written, and then it pretty much explains why. And I'm just bringing it to the attention, so if anybody was working on something that they don't. And there is also a new karaoke contest that there is a link in there that if you were doing something, you can send it to the new one. So it's a little short and sweet, but quite honestly, the post is written very well, and then it explains it in depth why we made that decision that we did.
And Theodosius was in this morning, pimping the new karaoke.
Yeah, and Sim Girl, when she wrote the post, put that link in there at the bottom for people.
Sometimes things just run the gauntlet and it's time to go.
Well, yeah, and actually, it's been I didn't realize, but it's been 5 months we've been doing it, which is a really long time to do one contest.
It is.
And the new contest that came out is they actually have a higher payout than ours. So it really, because we were just using the payout from the posts.
Right.
So it really makes more sense to do the other contest. And we've both been really busy in other aspects. And 5 months is, a long time for a really good run for a contest. And everybody had fun. And so if other people want to pick it up, that's great, I think.
Yep. You've evolved onto other things, and it'll make its mark.
Yeah. And she's very involved in the Sea Monsters, writing the stories for those and doing the
You mean
shows.
Sim Girl?
Yes, not me. No.
I was gonna say, are you up to something we don't know about?
No, God, no. No, I've stayed as far away from that as I have some cards, but I don't buy any. I won some, but I don't buy them anymore. Because I was watching my wallet go down farther and farther and farther and farther. And it was like, this is stupid. For me.
Some games can be a bit of a money suck.
Yeah. And I used to play Hearthstone on, it was through, it's part of World of Warcraft kind of thing. It's a spin-off, and it's a card game. And you buy fake cards online and play against real people in real time. And it was a lot of fun, and I was really into it. But it got to the point where each expansion would cost you about $100, and that was the low end for me. I was, and that's just, I see this going in the same vein. You can play for free, but you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to get frustrated. I mean, and Hearthstone is really cool. It's a cool game to play, but, it's not WoW. It's actually, Hearthstone is a card game, but it's based off of the WoW characters and stuff. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I know I'm being into more the expansions being that expensive. It was like when I used to play World of Warcraft, it was like the expansions were nowhere near that expensive. That's crazy.
Oh, expansions for actual World of Warcraft now? They're like $100 and some. Yeah.
Ooh,
No.
Damn.
that's a lot
Yeah.
of money to tie up in a game.
Well, plus you pay a monthly fee to play the game.
Good grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
That's,
God I got too addicted and left that years and years ago.
yeah.
You
Well,
may have
that's
got
fine.
out just in time, Calumet.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
that way.
And it's they changed a lot of stuff, and it's really I think they ruined it, but that's my opinion. So I haven't had a free weekend a couple of months ago, and I didn't even log on.
Put your head down.
Cause
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
yeah, because it's like, well, they just want to suck you in again, but they changed so much about it that you just can't. It's not fun for me anymore.
No, it wouldn't be.
So no, and I would go back to the other one where I can build worlds, and I have dimensions full of stuff to build with that's sitting there doing nothing before I would go back there. So, but yeah, so but yeah, that was the big announcement, which really it's run its course.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Bittersweet, right?
yeah. I mean, it was well, quite honestly, everybody in here, PYP, um, it's the ones that everybody in here helped it grow because you guys are the ones who helped get the word out. I mean, at the time we started it 5 months ago, I mean, people, you know, didn't know us, and that's part of it. Goes back to community and everything else. Um, it's really what made it what it was, and so um, really we have you guys to thank for everything that happened to it because you guys, supported it and everything,
I think the
which
ones
I think was
that took part enjoyed themselves. Even Artemis from the middle of the lake on her kayak.
that was great. That was and the swearing.
No, not Artemis.
Nah,
Sure, Rhonda.
you're not a potty mouth. You use it in the right manner.
It's usually in context. So, Cal, you're up.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Not too bad.
So I'm going to be sharing a post. We've actually been working on this a few days. Myself, Panderis, Monchichi, and Tamala. And we realized someone asked her the other day, about Buddy Up, and they were like, well, what do you do? And I was racking my brain. I was thinking. I was like, well, yeah, good question. What do we do? And we've had a few different chats. It was more looking into, really what we're about, what we can provide for the Steam blockchain. It's nice to have a community, but it's got to be beneficial to the platform, and otherwise it's wasted time. So what we decided to do, is try and write some. It's not a manifesto as such, I would say, but it's more putting out what we've got there, what they can do to benefit people, what the ideas and the roadmap is for the next, couple of months. Well, it's the next month or so, couple of months at least. And just really trying to break things down in an easy to digest way, I guess. It's a longer post, but it's getting things out there, and we've tried to make it pretty so people like to have a little look at it, trying to keep it neat, and we've worked hard on the writing. And just trying to share what we're about and what we want to try and provide for people. So it's been fun. I'm tired because today was it was a busy one with it, but it's been good. We're glad to get it out there.
It looks fairly extensive too.
Yeah, it's great. I think the reason we've cut out a lot of different things too, and I think the reason's because we're more, we've tried to focus on a lot of features from the beginning. Um, and about a month or so, probably about 6 weeks back, we were like, look, this is too complex for people to join. We need to streamline it. We need to adapt and evolve this into something which is actually, focus on what's important. Um, so we trimmed a lot back and we've just focused on, the more important things that we can provide and, help. And I think the main thing which I think the main thing that I've realized is that by saying that you're a community about genuine engagement is it's you can't nobody I don't believe anybody can hold up to that. Like there's times when I can't be fucked, and there's times when other people can't be bothered, and you can't say you're about that and have that as your principle because nobody can do that 24/7, so what we've spoke about and what I believe we're about is about well-timed encouragement. Like people are here and the content creators have got fantastic stuff going on and everyone's got their own lives and own worlds that they live in. But there's times when you get that little bit of encouragement, which is at the perfect time, and it gives you that boost that you really need. And I feel as though that's what we can try, we can provide with, the different features we've got through the week, can help, in those little ways, trying to find those little critical times when people are really doing well and then provide that encouragement at that point. Because that's manageable. You can't burn the candle at both ends. You've got to try and focus on what's important what's the most important thing.
Bottom line, this is where the cool kids hang out.
You've been running several things over there, and the last few weeks I've been watching it for a while, but I hadn't participated. But the last few weeks I've participated in the drop in the ocean, and I like your concept there. People write on a topic, a word in most cases, and then they present those posts, and that's an interesting approach to a live curation type show, and I've enjoyed it. I found it challenging to write on it.
It's interesting, I think it's amazing to see, the perspectives that come from different people. I think it really broadens the meaning that topic that was set every week, and I think as well it makes it easier to host. This is what I remember when I was talking about this. Myself and Dreams Team were talking about this when we were thinking like, oh, we've got to come up with a show. And it was, I love these shows, the curation shows, but the first thing in my mind was like, how on earth do these guys host this? Like, there's so many random things that come, like, how could I possibly do that? And then that's all it stemmed from, like, if there's a topic and we're, learning, about it and sharing a bit of wisdom and trying to broaden it, it just makes the hosting easier. Like, it's not easy all the time, of course, but it makes it easier, and that was the main driving force for it, so but it's amazing every week, and I love it. It's a great start to the week.
Well, there's been several Discords that have done this type of show here, where with you having a topic, that makes it a different show.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the topic, what we've found is the topic, it's the range. We were talking about it in the show the other day about how there's certain words can have different spin on how the show goes. How people present and how they perceive the word. But the words we'll try and stick to are, I don't think deep's the word, but this is where my horrendous vocabulary shines. But the words themselves, thought provoking. They've got hidden meanings, and I think the most interesting ones for me is either when somebody comes to the show with a complete different approach to everyone else, or the ones which are literal. because they're the ones that you're like, oh man, like I don't know how you even came up with that. So, but yeah, no, it's always fun, it's always interesting, and it's a pleasure. You know, I was so proud. It's one of those ones when you see people who are growing and sharing the content that they do. It's like you just got to sit back and be like, oh man, this is awesome to be part of.
So the word for next week, guys, is cooperate.
I gotta write that down. Or somebody could send it to me in a DM.
We can do that. Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, no, thanks very much, Shadows. Just to kind of say, I did say before, I'll be here listening in, but I'll end up getting a message soon to say, pop over to the show. So I'll be nipping in and back. I'll be nipping out and then back in. But
Okay.
thanks very much.
Thank you, Caluman. So, those that are here on a regular basis, they've certainly heard us talk about the new project over in the writer's block, the new front end. And Rhonda's put up an image there. And Rhonda, you want to come on mic and talk about it? Maybe.
Yeah, I can. I don't have a post ready. We've been fumbling around with an idea and need to get this ready, especially for Toronto. So we've got one that we think we're needing a broader opinion on. Snook is saying no. I would like to know why no.
It's boring. I understand it's simple and I understand that concept, but the books are off kilter. I mean, as in there's no shelf. I could understand it better if the word was below and the books were above with the row on top. Like put the word underneath the books. But
or put the books on top of row.
That might be better too, yeah. The books are in the wrong place to me, in my eyes, and it needs a not a white background if that's what you're going to go with.
But it's a transparency. It would have to be not the background is irrelevant. It would be that color, not on any background.
Yeah. I just think it needs. I know you want it simple, but it needs some pizzazz, and it doesn't have pizzazz because you used the font that you used is, and I understand again why you used the font because it's a nice font. I mean, it's readable from miles away, and the books make sense, but it's
it's good. It's a good idea. I think it's in graphics. It's flat, as in there's no there's no depth to the idea. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. There's nothing to catch your eye, and I also understand the colors that you picked. But again, it's not. There's nothing eye-catching about it that's going to make you like glance at it and glance back.
Okay, so Artemis has put a suggestion there. What if you put word books row on a bookshelf? Use the words like bookends and make the books look like books.
That's a cool idea. I kind of like that, and I'd like to see it. The problem is that when you're dealing with a logo, you have to make sure that it's readable at a thumbnail size. And we've tried several different iterations, and you lose everything when it gets down small. So that is that is one thing we're wrestling with. And you can't go with a serif font because those get really lost when you reduce. But yeah, it's like Andre said, if they're all simple logos are simple for a reason.
Well, I realize that, but you can use the WWR as the small logo, and then use the larger logo for the rest. Also,
I don't know that want to use WR. Um, one of the beauties of this particular choice is
Oh,
that
with
it's
the
a
back and
palindrome.
forth.
It's a
Right.
palindrome. Reads the
Right.
same in both directions.
Yeah, and you don't want to have one logo for big and one logo for small. You want one logo that does it all. It's got to do everything.
Well, I'm just giving you my opinion.
No, that's
Not
what's
No,
up.
I know. Yeah.
not that it's right or wrong, but I looked at it and it doesn't bring your eye back to it.
Ah, trust Artemis. Could you use books to construct the W? Would that balance it?
You're not going to be able to see that at a small resolution.
Not in the small one, but you would in the larger one.
No, the goal is you don't want two different logos. You just want one image that works both large and small.
Hey, Rhonda, let's let everybody just put their opinions out there, and then you can sort through what everybody said afterwards, because I really want to get everyone's input.
Yeah, absolutely. I just dropped a little bitty version of it to let you see how it gets lost when it's little like that.
Well, I wouldn't certainly use those books, but what if you put a black outline around each segment of each W and then put the little lines on it to make it look like the binding of a book, but keep your colors?
Would you be able to see the outline on the smaller one, Artemis?
You would on the yellow, but it's hard to know until it's done with the blue. It would just give it a little more detail, and then you wouldn't have to use so many books. I wonder if that's what's throwing us off. Maybe there's just a few too many books below?
Possibly. The other
I dropped.
possibility with the outlining might be a blue outline on the orange row and a orange outline on the blue row.
That could work. You'd have to see it done, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd have to try it.
What font is that?
What font is it, Rhonda?
I'm not sure that Andre found the font.
What is it, Andre? That has some possibilities too, what Mandel Sage has done there.
Calumet made a good suggestion. Give the books a drop.
Pardon? Drop shadow, so you see the outline small.
Questions though, and I don't want to hijack the show. We can move on, to something else. But I like some of the suggestions that are coming in.
Something to think about anyways.
Oh yeah.
Extend the detail. That is an interesting concept, Rhonda. Remember I said the other day about doing something to make the D the pivot because it works in both directions? Extending the upstroke on the D would do it.
Well, that's what I thought you guys were going to do, is work with the D because it was the tall word in the middle.
Well, we were looking at it from the aspect of maybe two colors or something to kind of make it pivot, but didn't think about it just extending the letter. That was far too simple.
That's a really cool idea.
Interesting concepts.
I think this is a very refreshing twist in Pimp Your Post Thursday, where we're critiquing a logo instead of listening to a post presentation. This is awesome.
You never quite know what we're going to do.
Well, I think it's perfectly good use of the time too. It's awesome.
Shane's pointed out that it looks quite a bit like the FedEx logo color-wise.
I never thought of that. You're right, Shane.
Well, that's because those colors are friendly.
That would make sense.
Or
That's,
maybe we're trying to bank on people confusing us with FedEx.
And
wow, there's that too.
they're expecting fast delivery of stories then?
Are you going to overnight them?
The
For an exorbitant price, yes.
yeah, the colors, we tried the creative colors, green and orange, and they didn't get as good a response as the blue and orange. And blue
Yeah.
is, a friendly color, exactly. Orange is creative, green is creative. You notice Home Depot is orange, Lowe's is blue, Walmart is blue, and they choose these colors for a reason.
Yeah, they do. You go wonky with the colors and it tends to turn people off.
Yeah.
Shades are different, but yeah, they're close.
But they're two totally different words, so when you look at them together, they don't really look that similar.
Lime green for everyone, we're not purple.
I love lime green, so I'm partial.
Actually, you are, and so is Shane, and so is Rhonda. Well, no, Rhonda isn't, because she's a mod. They're different shades, but they're somewhat on the spectrum. That's a possibility. You got a few more options than you had before.
What's that one look like as a thumbnail, sir?
Okay, Andre.
That looks cool.
All right. Snook. You're next.
Okay. I was sidetracked by it, my GIMP.
By your GIMP. Oh, you were testing.
Yeah. This is an older post that Eco Instant did. It's 6 days, so I don't know the ruling on that. But this has to do with that haiku bot.
Oh, that
And
thing.
yeah. Well, yeah. And what he did, is went down this rabbit hole, and the post shows you the rabbit hole. And I thought it was kind of ingenious how he, did it. So I don't know. I don't think he shared it because it was kind of a fun post, not a serious post. But how, kind of like, have you ever gotten into an argument with the cat bot that gives you cat facts? Well, okay. Oh, I have. Because it's hilarious when you're kind of bored. And that's kind of what happened here. But it was interesting as he went along how people either got mad at the bot or played along with the bot as he was going around making the haikus all over the place. So it's just more of an interesting post.
I've had it do it on me a couple of times. I didn't like it either time. One was on a comment. Well, they were both on a comment. One I flagged, the other one I just left alone. And interestingly enough, Amelia was in here one evening and she was talking about it in a post, and she thought it was great. So you're right. People take both approaches to it. So what's the thought? Do you guys like the haiku bot or not?
Well,
I love it.
Not a fan.
yeah, and one time I was just I wrote a serious comment that shouldn't have been turned into a haiku.
Yeah,
I'm sorry your animal died. And then it made a haiku out of it, and it was like, wow, that was a little misplaced. But some of them actually turn out kind of funny. So I have a love-hate thing with it.
Well, and even though this post is 6 days old, it's not within 12 hours of payout. So if everybody goes in there in the next little bit and upvotes it, you can get it in.
Yeah, yeah. If not, leave your opinion in the comments as to what you think about the haiku bot.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was more, this is what this is the rabbit hole that I found, and it was, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, and I guess ultimately that's the whole thing is context. If you put something in there that was kind of a serious comment, and this haiku bot shows up out of nowhere and makes a haiku out of it, you kind of look at it and feel like it's been made fun of.
Right. Or the person reading it is like, what?
I just don't know why people are getting mad. Like, I just don't understand it. It's not doing anything. I mean, yes, it's making comments that are haikus out of random sentences in a post, but like, this is hardly the most insidious thing that's ever happened on Steam It.
Well, it doesn't have to be insidious to be irritating. True?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the ultimate purist, but they're not actually haikus, which is why it's a little bit grating.
Well, yeah, you are a bit purist there, but I get your point on that. The other thing is that I guess it's kind of a situation where you've got a bot, and this one isn't alone, that's doing automated comments, and if they manage to get themselves upvoted, then they manage to basically be making the automated money that will turn around and argue that the bid bots are not doing the platform any good. Neither are they.
The one that's actually really problematic, though, I mean, the haiku bot is a little bit of fun, and I don't take it that seriously. I don't think many people take it that seriously. The one that really is causing a potential problem is the one that creates an audio file of your writing, which really is getting into the point where it's affecting copyright of people's stuff, because there are people who like to put out spoken word versions of their posts on D-Sound, especially.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Go ahead, Andre.
I was just going to say, I agree with that. I do. That's starting to get into some kind of murky water, and I don't know if TTS bot is intending to do that. I suspect not, but they should at least be cognizant of that, the fact that this is a possibility, especially now.
Oh, I never thought of it in that light. With that, yeah, but yeah, you're right.
And
'Cause
you'd
I
be in
wouldn't.
that situation because you write
would,
those stories.
right, exactly, and I wouldn't want them reading my story
Yeah.
because they would read it wrong.
I don't want the bots to do nothing with me. I made a haiku one time, and it rhymed. Mine was the only haiku in a contest of rhyme, and I only took second place, but I did win a little something there. And when I make memes and I put them on D-Mania, I don't post stuff on Facebook and stuff. I put my actual crazy-ass face on there. They don't get up with it. I do a lot of original
Shane,
stuff.
a lot of times when that's told to stop, it doesn't stop. That's part of the problem.
Well, they don't stop.
I had a chat with Guilty Parties. He was going to try to track down who owned the bot, and I don't think he's been successful yet.
Guilty's not successful.
He will. He'll track him.
I know, but
It has to be told to stop and tag along. You're kidding, right, Andre?
No, I just made that up, but
Oh,
that would
good.
be interesting if that was the case. Good luck having that keyboard setting.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All right. Thank you, Snook.
you're welcome.
Do you want back on the list?
Not quite yet.
Okay. Artemis, you're up.
Okay, so when the picture comes up, stay calm. This is a beautiful post done by Carolyn Cardoza, and she has made this beautiful bikini top and then embellished it with ribbon embroidery. But that's not even the best part of this post. Is the very first intro to the post, she starts out giving us memories that are also history, and it's just very short, but it brings so much to mind. It's an excellent post.
And are we ever lucky Engine wasn't here?
I know. That's
Yeah.
why I went, oh, okay, Engine's not here.
He likes boobs.
It is beautiful needlework. And definitely in no need of padding.
Yeah, there's no need of padding. But she did do beautiful work, and ribbon embroidery, you don't see it that often anymore. So it's really beautiful old art that she's bringing back.
That's a crochet with, what is that? Needlework in with the crochet.
It's just simple crochet, Sarge, and then she embroidered it with ribbon.
Yeah, it's a double crochet, double, and then has a shell crochet on the outside, and then it's like embroidery work that she worked into it.
Yeah, she's done a lot of work on it.
No doubt. I mean, all those colors in there, that's not crochet there, that's like needlework in there.
Yeah, it's embroidery. Okay, thank you, Artemis. Any further update on the other situation?
No, still 10 minutes apart, and she's
Okay.
still ahead.
All right, Mandel Sage. I like the way Andre does that. Really excellent craftsmanship. Well done, Andre. Okay, Mandel Sage.
I do what I can.
You're up. I guess he's not up because it looks like he had to drop out of the channel.
He let me laugh.
Pardon?
We lost him.
We lost him.
Did you do a new giveaway bot for tonight?
Yes, the giveaway bot is on. And running. How come I hit start and it didn't start?
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. Because it
That's
just
weird.
says the.
Let's try it again. Yeah, it's been running since right after I started the show.
Wow, but you can't click on the clicky thing if there's no clicky thing to click on.
Well, it didn't activate. That's part of the problem.
Maybe it just was feeling a little bit peckish because it's of the anti-bot sentiment going on in the crowd right now.
It could be. It's now operating.
I think you hit it on the head.
I will not give my secret away. Okay, if Mandel Sage is not in the channel at the moment, then we'll move on to Damien.
Hey, Shadows, thank you. Again, I'm not posting a Steemit link, so I'll just chuck in what I've got.
Right. There we go.
Okay, so there's a few hours left to grab a free copy of my novel. I am looking for reviews, basically, looking for you guys to help out and have a read and leave me a review on the Amazon.com site. The novel's about a gay teen who's forced to go to a gay cure camp, and it's about what happens to him at the camp and how he makes his recovery. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it if enjoy is the right word. And I really kind of want more people to read the story and get this info out there. Because I had a real reason for. There's a link if you see the link just below. I've put a little extract of like one line from the novel in there. There's a link to Amazon. All you need to do is click on that, and hit buy or
Do I
whatever it
click
says.
on the read for free or the buy now with one click?
The
Probably.
buy now with one click, and it should be free. So if you have to go to another site, some people can't use the .com site. For example, I have to use .co.uk. Just run a search in Amazon under the name of the novel or my name, and you'll find it. It's it will come straight up.
All right. Thank you, Damien.
Thank you, Shadows.
And the point that was raised this morning was that if you do download the book, you read the book and you go back to do a review, do not make any indication that you know Damien, because if you do, they'll delete the review.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Amazon's kind of picky about that because people do things to try to get false reviews. So if they see any indication that you're doing it, what appears to be a favor to the author, the review is gone. Okay. Mandel Sage, you're back. Aren't you? Yes, you're there.
Yes. Hello again, everyone.
Oh. Artemis is now under a tornado warning. Sorry. Go ahead, Mandel Sage.
Oh dear. Yes, okay, so here's my post. All right, so this morning I spoke about my Monday mandalas, which I do every week. But then today I posted this here, which I was unsure about at first whether I should do it now or not, because as you'll read there, it's been a struggle. I got an idea 2 or 3 months ago to do these black and white mandalas and compile a book from them, and then maybe self-publish on Amazon. So yeah, that's it. In the post, I just share a few samples from what I've done so far. I've done over 30 of them, and I'm aiming to get to like 50 or 60 before I get compile it all together and try and do the self-publishing thing. So yeah, that's it. I just thought I'd share that and see what everybody thinks about the idea, if that's something that anybody here would like, because I know the adult coloring book thing, it's huge in some circles, and like I said in the post, the craze has died down a bit, but I think that what I've got is quite unique. I mean, I've never seen anything like my mandalas around anywhere, so I think it might be quite popular for those who like to do that sort of thing.
Well, Snacky has just said, what a wonderful plan. I want to buy one already with your name in it.
Oh, Snacky. Thank you. You know what, Snacky, I will send you a copy for sure.
Oh gosh, that would be amazing.
There we go. So you may have hit on something there. And Shane has found Snacky. So you're designing one and you're going to have it printed?
Design? Yeah, well, designing, what do you mean designing one?
Your book. You're putting together a book of them.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes, exactly. I'm getting the each mandala done. I'd say I'm about halfway done now. And with self-publishing, what's nice with Amazon is you can just set up a PDF and then they print on demand. So yeah, it saves a lot of money doing it that way.
Oh, definitely.
Although I did think about trying to get a publisher to notice it, I have a friend in South Africa who does hand-drawn mandalas, and they're beautiful. And Barnes and Noble actually contacted her through her DeviantArt account and asked her to make unique ones for them. So that, that's pretty awesome.
Well, you know about the Steam shelves with Rhonda K, and they're getting ready to do another thing coming up with the Steam with Rhonda, and Shadow's about to probably tell you more about that because they're
Actually, Sarge, with this being something that needs to be printed, it wouldn't be the same thing.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah.
So the Steam shelves, it's some. You mean it's
Steam shells is a way that if you were printing a series or putting out a series on the platform and you wanted people to be able to find the posts all together, then you could get them put up on Steam shelves.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've wondered about that because, yeah, exactly. It's a bit hard to read a series when people have posted it, and you have to go back all the way back to their original post and start and keep track of it like that. So, okay.
Yeah, and if there are people that do a
good to
lot of
know.
re-steaming, it can be difficult, that's for sure. That's where the Steam shells are of benefit.
But you guys are getting ready to do something different, aren't you? With the publishing and stuff.
WordRow.
Yeah, with the new thing y'all
Yeah.
are getting ready to do.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mandel Sage. And
Yeah,
Snook,
thank you.
you're up.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to get the book onto my device.
The what?
Damien's book.
Didn't it just download for you onto it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't have a Kindle, you need to download their free e-reader.
Oh.
But
I don't have a Kindle.
But once you've hit buy, you've got access to it then forever. So just at whatever point you want to read it, then you need to get the reader. Let me have a look for you.
Yeah.
Well, there is a free app for it.
I'll send you a DM, love, because I got one of them on my computer for the Linux and the other.
She's not on Linux?
I'm not on Linux.
No, I can send you one for the Windows thing. It's the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. You can download it right there.
Well, I downloaded it onto my tablet so I can read it while I'm at my aunt's this weekend.
Yeah.
As long as you've got the app for Kindle on your tablet, you should be able to download to it. And
but I need the app.
Yeah, you need the
Yeah,
Kindle
and there
app.
are free apps in the Apple Store and the Android Store both.
In Google Play?
Yes, just go in and look for Kindle app.
Okay, Kindle app.
Yeah, what Kitty Girl said.
All right, so...
There's the link.
Thank you.
Narco says, it all becomes clear. You must download stuff that lets you download the stuff.
Yeah. That's what drives me nuts.
Go ahead, Snook.
Okay, so me and Artemis are we now have late night comedy on Steam. And it's actually, well, I think it's funny. Well, I think Artemis is funny. But there is swearing in here, so if you can't handle swearing, you don't want to watch this. We talk about life and being old and all kinds of stuff, and we do it with using the face rigs, which in itself are hilarious in certain circumstances. And so this is the full show. And then Artemis later, but she's going to have a grandchild soon, so maybe not later. We'll be posting some outtakes from it. Just so you know.
I'll post them hopefully tonight. I should still have time.
The child will decide that.
I'm laughing already. You
Well,
guys.
I think it's both funny haha and funny strange.
Oh, I
To
didn't
be
see any of the
very
strange
honest.
stuff.
Well, there was a part I was looking down my boobs at the end. That was a little strange.
I'm laughing
Oh,
already.
that
I like old boobs. Just being an old guy.
Although
myself.
I did like the one in, was it the first one, where Artemis switched to the was it the sea guy, the fish guy,
Yeah.
and she pans backwards, looks down, and says, "I'm going back to the cat. I think this is a guy."
Yeah. I almost died when I saw that. Because well, we just figured out how to pan back and forth with them. And it brings that midget joke to a whole new level.
It did. So you're gonna have to watch the recording to find out what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and the midget joke, really, you just watched Jack Miller's first question that I asked him in the it goes along with it. And the pants are optional. But Shadows was nice enough that if you look up on the left-hand side, you can see the pants are optional tag, and all those are in there. And then you can see First World Problem tag, and all the shows are in there also. And those are the D-Live shows. And then Artemis has been posting some, well, right now there's only one, but some outtakes. But it is definitely after hours stuff. Moved in.
Good grief. Okay. Thank you, Snook.
You're welcome.
And Sarge, you're up.
Oh, hell, that quick? Okay, give us a moment.
Okay. We've got him searching for a link.
No, not searching. Just I just went to Windows and stuff.
Can I just read a comment that I just read?
Can you
Yeah,
go
go ahead while we're waiting for Sarge.
All right. So, Jack Miller put in his application for the Alliance. Just, well, not that it matters. But Coffee wrote a comment on there that says, from previous experience, Snook has impeccable taste and always manages to get things done. She might not always make you do it, but you'll have this nagging feeling you ought to, or you will be in trouble.
Well, having said that, the tables got a little turned in here today, and there's now a team. We made Snook do it, and Snook has got a project to carry out.
Yes. How did you do that? I was not paying attention, obviously, that you put me in charge of something.
Well, I have warned you before that I have this way of doing voluntold.
Yes, you did.
It
You
works.
voluntold me. You voluntold me.
Well, I could explain exactly how it happened, but then we wouldn't be able to do it to you again, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't give the secret away, Kenny. Sarge, go for it.
I picked this morning. Or I don't know if it's the same one I picked. But
I gotta watch.
it's the same folks and everything. And for curators and everything, it's a great thing to check out. Kalaju, he's a fella. He lives in Korea. But of the looks of him, I don't think he's Korean. He doesn't look Korean. He doesn't.
Actually, I'm told he's a Canadian living in Korea.
He might be. I don't know, love. He's a nice guy. That's all I know. I've talked back and forth with him, and he's a really neat guy. He's really neat. He's a great curator. He's a great guy. He almost died here a little while back. He was in the hospital. He had stones, was clogging up his liver and everything. He was in really bad shape. But he's doing better. And he's a very good friend of Deranged Visions. You all know Deranged Visions, right? He pops in here now and again. And, yeah. So this is worth checking out, everybody. A new initiative on Steam and associated with Steam. And you all might want to check it out. It's pretty cool. I just kind of liked it. And I just like this guy. It's very nice. I think I have a man crush. Don't get jealous, Ingenuity. It's okay.
Okay.
It's just cool.
Thank you, Sarge. So check that post out and have a look at it. He's got a little project going there. And Artemis, you are up.
Okay, so this is the recap of our time that we got to spend with Cat Weasel on Tuesday at the Curation Corner here in the Steam at Ramble. It's on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we talked about how he got onto the platform. And to be honest, he talked more than I've ever thought I would ever hear him speak. But he teased Shadows a little bit, put her in the corner, and then we got around to talking about curation. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed the show. And this coming week, we get to spend time with Snecky from the You Got Snack Curation Project.
Yes, we're looking forward to bringing Snecky on with us. And if I'm not mistaken, Snecky puts a You Got Snacked out on Tuesday, so it should be just about perfect timing.
Oh, that is good timing.
Yeah. So did you guys see my note up above there? We got a D-Live upvote on the stream tonight.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. Thank you, Artemis. So, we've got a new presenter now, Z311. So just put your link in the text channel. I don't believe you're going to present by text or by voice, so if you have the text ready to go at the same time, I can read that out for you.
Wow, D-Live did good on that.
Yeah. Hello, Z311. And there's the link. And do you have some text for us? Well, we want to present a project, Steam Nova, a game that is based on 2 moons, or rather more popular as O Game. Everything about this project you can read in the post. So this is a gaming project. In short, while having fun with other Steamians, you can earn SPD rewards, rule the universe as an intergalactic overlord. Rewards are generated daily Steam Nova reports, such as, and he's got a link to those types. And we hope that you'll be interested in this concept of resurrecting old games such as 2 Moons. Very good. Thank you, Z311. Hopefully everybody can go and have a look at that, and we're going to give you the PYPT attendee role for taking part tonight. Thank you. And Mandel says that sounds like his sort of thing, so he'll be checking that post out. Is it? Yes. Don't do any upvotes on that. Comments only. Read it for information. It's a 6-month-old post. Good catch, Shane. Thank you. It explains the project. Okay, Freedom Point, you're up.
Hey there, can you hear me?
We can.
All right, well, Stacy D and I, Freedom to Write and Freedom Point, we've actually started a new account, a Crooked Road Home, and this is going to be all about our new adventure as we've sold our property, we've bought an RV, and now we're about to hit the road. So we're trying to kind of fill everybody in on what has happened and kind of outline what's about to happen.
So, where are you headed?
Well, we're starting in Toronto. We're going to, both of us, Freedom to Write and myself, are going to be speaking at the Steam Creators Conference in Toronto. But then as soon as that's over, we're just going to be free. So we're looking to do homestead to homestead, and we're looking to go to conference to conference, meetup to meetup, meet as many people as possible, spread some love and experience.
So at this point, you don't know what direction you're heading from Toronto.
Not just yet. I'd imagine back to the United States, and I think we're going to go back over through Wisconsin, and I think we're overdue to see Snook.
Yeah. That was her question. She said, "When are you stopping by my house?"
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing, and if anybody checks out our video, we dropped a little additional information about Stacy D and the Yeti in there, and only people that watch the video are going to get it.
Do I know this information already?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So now we have another account that we need to follow to keep up to you.
Yeah, what we're hoping is, I've got Freedom Point. I do all my spirituality, my vlogs, my crafting and everything, and then she does all of her writing and all of her free writes and things. And so we're hoping to have just one account that people can just follow our adventures, friends and family from all over, even if not Steam it, that they'll be able to find us easily.
So, the GHS Collective, that's different from Homesteaders Online?
It is. We've actually created something completely different. With the GHS Collective, it's actually getting really big. On our Discord is up to almost 200 in the community now. We've created our own cryptocurrency, the Global Home Coin, and we traded on the Waves wallets. And it's a whole different thing. We're focused on growing and like being an umbrella, taking in as many self-reliant little niches as possible: homesteading, farming, hunting, fishing, sewing, cooking, anything that you do with your own hands to take in your own, to take care of yourself or your family. That's kind of what we're umbrellaing. And so it's going to be an amazing community. It already is. There's a lot of great people there, and we're looking to connect. We're looking to unite, educate, and encourage people around the entire world, and help people to learn how to earn more on Steemit and to grow better tomatoes.
Interesting.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is we're really trying to give. With the Global Home Coins, we've created an economy within our own community, and so it's traded amongst ourselves. And then also with that, with our account at GHS Collective, we're actually transferring directly 75% of everything we make to community members. So we're not messing so much with upvotes, but as our account continues to get gains, whether it is from upvotes or curation or vote selling, however we're getting it, we'll take 25% and apply it back to the account, but then we take 75% and we just give it away.
Sounds like an interesting approach. So when SMTs come out, are you looking to do an SMT, or are you just sticking with trading on the waves?
Let's just say that that's a little more on the technical financial side. So you might have to tap IJ or Steam Cafe for those sort of answers. But because I can't really explain that aspect of it. So in some points, I'm just the pretty beard in the front.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. You're the pretty beard.
The pretty beard. We're the beard and the dreads of the organization. So, we love it, and it's been so amazing so far. And now we're going to be the mobile, the mobile headquarters for the GHSC. So the tag's growing. The tag GHSC is getting more frequent. Oh my gosh! Look at that guy's beard.
That's not you?
Oh, I wish.
Kind of looks like Donald Trump's hair.
Hell no.
All right. Thank you, Freedom.
Thank you.
And, okay, I always mess this one up. Iluna?
Luna, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. There's my link. And hello everyone. Well, this post it's about a game that I just downloaded this week, and then I released that it's a game that it was just released like 2 months ago, and it's a review of that game. It's about Pokemon for all the lovers of Pokemon. I think you should try it because it's really good one, and it's fun and it's cute too. I think it's a really good game for kids. So if you want to try it, I recommend it because it's really good, and it is not online, so you can play everywhere. And another thing, yeah, it looks like a Minecraft. I was like, oh, there's a Pokemon Minecraft, but it's not. And the thing is that instead Pokeballs, you have to, for catch new Pokemons, you have to cook recipes. I don't know how to say that.
Recipes?
Okay, you have to cook, and they come to you by the food. It's really cute.
Sounds like you're having fun with it.
Yeah. It got me. I'm addicted to that game now.
Mandelsay says you put a lot of work into your post, so he's voting for it, but he's not playing the game. He's not a Pokemon fan.
Yes, it's really, really good.
But Injun wants to play now.
Yeah, try it.
All right. Thank you. Artemis, you're up.
Well, here's the recap from the Creatives Coffee Hour, which is held here in PYP in Steam at Ramble on Mondays at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. This week we had quite a treat. Yidnith came and she played her portion of a duet live for us while Serena Matthews was in the background singing her portion of Moon Hanging Low. It was really beautiful. And of course, there were many other people that shared and showed us really interesting things and gave us great information. It was fun, so don't miss it.
Yeah, it's well worth listening to. And if you're not busy on Monday, you can pop into the Creatives Coffee Hour from 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 2, or when Artemis decides to close it off, sometime after 2. You can bring a post along, you can bring along a picture of something you're working on, or just something you want to chat about. You don't have the text written, Melas? If you go ahead and write that, we'll carry on with the next two, and then come back to you. And Engine's pointing out that we also have a show called The Curation Corner that plays on Tuesdays, and we invite other curators in, and we talk about curating posts and what we look for, what works and doesn't work. No, that was, I think she did that earlier. So last week we had, or this past Tuesday, we had Cat Weasel on, and this upcoming Tuesday we've got Snucky is going to join us. So, Snook.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a secret, Snucky.
Actually, Melos just said I have it ready, so
Oh,
I
he's
think
got
he
it
may
ready?
be ready to.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Melos, go ahead. Okay. And recently speaking with a friend about Venezuela, I always love that name. She reminded me that it's very beautiful places to visit and know, and thanks to God, at my young age, I've been able to travel through different states of Venezuela, that country, and know very beautiful places, and today I will show you some of the photos I have of those trips and adventures. There are some names I just cannot get my tongue around. Melo says they're some of my best photos so far, and he hopes you enjoy them. And some of them are really nice photos. Okay, the one that you've got there with the, looks like a person jumping in the triangle of your hands. Is that an actual photo or something you played with? I'm wondering how you got the figure of the person in the triangle of your hands. Okay, so it's Photoshop. All right. Nice picture anyways. Nice work. Thank you, Melos.
He's a good boy, Melos. He does a lot for his village. Helps to feed his people and everything.
He does.
He's a good man. I shouldn't have said good boy. I'm sorry, Chacho. I said you were a good boy. He's
Okay.
a good man.
Okay, go ahead, Snook.
Oh, I got it down though, Damien. Just so you know.
Cool. That's brilliant. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. I know I did this one this morning, but there's some new people in here. And this is the funniest podcast or show, whatever. That so if you haven't seen it and you need a really good laugh because you're having a really, really bad day, just you don't have to watch it. You can just turn it on and listen to it. And I don't know how you cannot laugh watching it.
Actually, all of the episodes that Snook has done so far, you'd be hard-pressed not to laugh. But yes, Jax is definitely very funny.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun getting to talk to, well, like Jan. He's very quiet in here, and it was, yeah, getting just to see the real person behind what you see on Steemit, and that's pretty much what this is.
Artemis says it's too funny. She laughed so hard it looked like she was going to fall over backwards in her chair. I think she's referring to Snook on that one. Injun, that's a little personal.
Oh God, I was laughing so hard. I so hard. I got a facelift out of it for free.
Definitely. Thank you, Snook.
You're welcome.
Injun, you're up.
Yeah, anybody that needs a free facelift, just go watch Cancer Optional shows.
And if that doesn't work, go check out the First World Problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Genshin's seen those yet.
Ah.
Whoops, that's the wrong one.
That post just proves that nobody is too good to write a post.
I was just looking at that and had it copied, and I was putting it elsewhere. Anyway, yes. So Tuesday, I took the girls to the aquarium in Chattanooga, and I wasn't quite sure how Freya would react to the whole thing because it's kind of new and it's a pretty big place, and there's some large critters, but a lot of cute ones, and she just had an absolute blast. I made me a video this time instead of a picture show like I usually do for my Wednesday walk thing. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. I'm trying to use DLive a little more because I kind of like where they're going with what they're doing.
Yeah, they do seem to be doing some good stuff.
Yeah. Made a little gallery mashup at the beginning with some music. It's kind of cute. It showed a bunch of pictures of the kiddos and the critters that we saw, and spliced together the videos I took from it towards the end. It's cute. You like it, I hope. Cuteness overload kind of post. So.
Oh, something I came across the other day I happened to be looking at, I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of the front ends that the platform has. And I noticed on some of mine where I have either an animated video or an animated GIF or a video, in what would be normally the picture that's displayed with the post, it goes up as no image. So it's something we might want to keep in mind, that if we're putting something up where we've got a video or an animated GIF, make sure there's another image that can function as the image on the post.
Yeah, earlier I popped that post somewhere and it didn't populate. I know
Yeah, that
Busy
might have been why.
sometimes does that. Busy sometimes does that. It won't show any image, but I'm not sure why it does that. If it's caching on Google, taking its time, or how that works. But
I don't know what it is, but it might be an idea to make sure that your first picture is always a static picture.
One of the things I don't know if people realize about DLive is that when you put your thumbnail in there, you can put a animated GIF in there, and it'll actually play that way in the thumbnail.
Yeah, but on these other front ends, it won't
Right.
show up.
Right.
Although I don't think that matters for DLive. I don't know that they show up elsewhere. It was just kind of interesting to notice it.
Just another weird thing to notice. I ain't the only one that says critters.
Kitty Girl has pointed out that it's a good idea to have both a YouTube and a DLive link. And Shane has noticed that he has issues with PNG compared to JPG.
It's probably because of the size of them.
Could be.
Because it's like quadruple the size of a JPEG of the same picture.
Yeah, it just gives a transparent background. Lovely little details to remember.
Well, you can have a PNG that does not have a transparent background, but the beautiful thing about PNG is it's a lossless format. In other words, a JPEG will lose some of the quality, but a PNG will not.
True.
definitely useful for if you need to resize images. Make sure they're PNGs versus JPEGs.
Yeah. But if he's having issues with the PNG, it's probably because they're a larger size, because you can do all that stuff.
Very true, yes.
So if you have a solid background and you put it at the right size in the PNG format, then just save it to a JPEG to load if you're having issues.
Precisely, yeah. I think people overuse PNGs sometimes.
And Caluman points out using Jeff has images for resizing helps too because it loses no quality on newer screens. Good stuff.
We're learning a lot today in here.
We are, but then it's PYPT.
Very true.
Thank you, Engine. And Katie, you're up.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
So I just post the link?
Yes. Drop that into the text channel and then tell us about what it's about.
So I started working with Zach Liddick, and he had this idea to do chain stories. We're both in the writer's block, and in the writer's block, we're learning how to become better writers. Hey, Rhonda. And it's been a fun adventure writing this with him. It's a challenge. So one of us starts and writes 800 to 1,000 words and then hands it off immediately to the other person, and there's no collaboration between us except for what we agreed to start out with. So in this story, we're doing what's called tarot tales. I came up with I have challenged by coming up with characters, and I usually do nonfiction, not fiction. So my cheat here was to use the major arcana from the tarot deck and use those as characters, since they already have like characteristics for every card. It kind of tells you what the person is like. So we're using those as our outline for characters that we bring up in the story. And this link goes to page 5. We have links in there to the previous pages too. And if you want to have a fiction escape, you can read our story.
So you've written this, and he goes and reads it and says, okay, here's where the story's going. And then he writes the next section?
Yeah. So I wrote page 1, he wrote page 2. I wrote page 3, he wrote page 4. We go back and forth. We pass it back and forth, and it's a great writing exercise.
Yeah, and a challenge. Nice stuff. Well, you're going to have to keep us posted on this, Katie.
Okay, thank you very much.
We need a good excuse to have Katie come back and join us a little bit more often.
I like that plan. Okay, Artemis, you are next.
This is Ivan G's post. He never ceases to amaze me with his ingenuity, not ingenuity, of his skills of folding paper and creating the most amazing origami pieces. This is another video that he did. He's getting pretty good with his videos. They're a little mesmerizing, and I love the beats in the background. So if you get a chance, check out the video too. It's really fun.
Except there's no YouTube link.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to drop him a comment and, or maybe talk to him at the Craig's Coffee Hour on Monday, because it's hard for people with intermittent internet to go to DTube and DLive, isn't it?
Especially DTube. DLive can be problematic for some people. I think Kitty Girl has a problem with it. I don't have a problem when it's streaming. Sometimes it's a little choppy on the feedback or on the playback if I'm just looking at the video. It just depends on the day. But yeah, Ivan does some amazing stuff. He shared a lot of it at the Creators Coffee Hour. So it's good to see you sharing here for him, Artemis.
Well, hopefully he's busy with his studies.
True. I don't know how he does as much as he does, but he says that it helps him to relax from when he's studying, and it gives him a break that he can relax with.
Well, it's pretty amazing. If you look back in his blog, you'll see some videos that he did solving various sized Rubik's Cubes, and he did them fairly quickly. It's just amazing to watch.
Yeah, I'd say that he's nobody's dummy. All right. Thank you, Artemis. And the Kitty Girl, you're up.
Okay. Well, I've got a post here that sort of took on a life of its own. I think a lot of my posts do that. I was out driving around recently. I'm posting my old barn series of pictures, and I'm trying to put in the post the exact latitude and longitude of the barns so that I can put it on the Steam It World map as I post. And there was a barn coming up pretty soon here. I couldn't remember exactly where it was, so I took off through the country to re-find exactly where that barn was located, and happened to pass this scene that you see in the thumbnail. And it's where a swath of land was cleared for these big power transmission lines, and I just thought, well, that'll make a cool pic. So I stopped the car and made the photograph. And then when I was thinking about putting it on Steemit, I got to thinking about how in different areas of the world, power transmission takes place in different manners than it does from any other location. And so I thought, well, this might make a good Steemit post. So I started writing it. And yeah, it just kind of took on a life of its own. But about 13 and a half miles from where I live, which is about 22 kilometers for those who don't live in the U.S., there is a nuclear power plant, and fortunately it's safe, and in the 45 years it's been in operation, there haven't been any problems, thank goodness. But in order to get the power to the customers from that nuclear power plant, they have to have these big honking heavy-duty cables that run on these huge towers that go way up in the air. Now, fortunately, this area is so rural. There's so many wooded areas, and there's so many mountains that these power transmission lines are really rather seldom seen. You pretty much have to be driving down a road where they cross the road, as I was doing here, and where you can stop the car and you see them, but otherwise they're not that prominent. But I did include a couple more pictures in there that shows the big towers carrying the lines and how they dip down into the valleys and whatnot. And they end up at this place called a substation where the electrical power is stepped down to a safer voltage for an amperage for transmission over lines that run alongside the road on top of poles. And I didn't include this in the post, but it made me think, too, in other parts of the world, electrical power is not that reliable, and it's really kind of sad. I was talking to one guy who lives in Nigeria, and he's not really in a big city. He's like in a small village, and he said they have electrical power about 9 hours a day, and the rest of the day they have no power. So it made me think about how people have to live. I mean, when that 9 hours rolls around, you got to be ready to plug in your cell phone or your laptop. You take a hot shower while the water tank has got the water heated up, et cetera, et cetera. If you've got an electrical oven or a microwave or whatever, you got to do your cooking, and it amazes me how we take for granted things that people in other parts of the world, live without a lot of the time. So anyway, I thought this would be a good post to show how power is transmitted in this area, and maybe if other people wanted to share how it's transmitted in their area, it might be interesting,
Yes.
And then I kind of end the post with a little meme that I made. I made a photograph of one pole that has a combination of power lines, telephone lines, and broadband cable connections running across it, and I was sitting there at the red light looking at that pole and was thinking, we kind of sort of tether ourselves to the earth with these wires, and then I got to thinking, lest we float away. So I made that little meme kind of in the post. So anyway, there's a little sciencey, a little lighthearted post.
Very nice. Thank you, Kitty Girl. So, if you remember earlier this year, my power was out here for 4 or 5 days. The main thing that was causing the power outage in this area actually took place about 40, 50 miles north of me, and it was 300 of those towers had been blown over in the storm, and it was getting them cleared up and back up and running before they could get the major circuits running. So it shows you just how much of an impact those things have.
That's true, and most of the power outages in my area are caused by high winds that blow over trees that maybe there's been a lot of rain and it's caused the roots of the trees to not be as firmly entrenched in the ground as they once were. High wind comes and the whole tree topples and it brings out a power line. Occasionally we'll have somebody hit a pole that will take out the power or have some equipment malfunction, but most of the time it's just down branches and trees from winds.
Yeah, the last 2-3 years, they've been getting a lot more aggressive going down the power lines along the road here and cutting trees well back away from them, so that if they do come down, they've got a chance of clearing the lines without bringing the line down.
Yeah, they do that a lot in our area too.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
Yeah, I remember when that power outage hit and you were without power for so long. I felt so bad for you. And then, of course, Engine was without power a week or so ago because of storms in his area, too.
Yeah, you don't notice it until it isn't there, and when it isn't there for a few days, you notice it even more. All right, thank you, kitty girl. Skip online. You are up. There I go. See him typing. Okay. This is an old post I had laying around and I revamped a little. Needs more work, but anyway. A post about a guy who let his life get out of control with alcoholism, losing all he held dearly, realizing it, and yet sadly doesn't do anything about it. And I'm quite sure that we've got people in our lives that this parallels. I certainly have seen a lot of them over the years. So, Skip, the writing of it, somebody you knew, situation you watched, or just something you drew on? Very close to him. Kellyman says neurological patterns are a bastard. Leverage and reward are the key. It's a tough struggle for anybody that's involved with it. Well done. Good to see you in, Skip. I know that you keep tuned to the show. You don't often get the opportunity to get in. And he's typing away. Yeah, I've been very busy. Well, good to see you in. And Engine, you're up.
Is that me?
Yep. And since Bluefin isn't here to yell at me for doing this, there's 5 minutes left in the giveaway for you if you haven't already gone into it.
So I kind of troll around the music community a little bit because I'm a big fan of music. And one of the contests I participate in every now and then is Termite's Worldwide Cypher Challenge. What he does is he throws up a beat and lets people do whatever they want to do on it. They can, record a couple lyrics or make a song out of it. If they're a DJ, they can remix it however they want to do it. What Tiger did, she actually made a video on the top of his video, like spliced it together, and it's really, really neat. Plus, she threw in poetry, and yeah, I really thought it was awesome. I think y'all should go check it out. It's only a couple minutes long.
Interesting.
Give her a little props. Maybe help her out in the contest.
A little extra creativity.
Yeah, I wasn't what I was expecting because most people will just drop some lyrics on it, and here she is making a sweet video, and yeah, I was like, man, that's cool.
I didn't even realize that she had mad skills like that. That's awesome.
Believe it or not, that's how I first met her.
How's that?
through the music industry a while back.
Well, you do get around, did you? All right. So, the queue is empty. So who would like to present? Everybody's happy tonight? Chris, you haven't got anything tonight?
I can find another one.
I'm sure you could. The kitty girl's got one.
Well, I can represent the post that I did this morning. There's several people here that didn't see it.
That's correct.
Went outside the other day. This was just a couple of days ago, and I saw an insect, some kind of a little bug on the back door, and came back in, went back out later. He was still there. He was still there. He was still there. Every time I went out, and I thought it kind of odd. I really should have realized sooner it wasn't really an insect, but the empty shell of what used to be an insect. It's called the exoskeleton. Unlike human beings and cats and dogs and horses and things that have a skeleton on the inside, a lot of the insect world, as well as crustaceans in the sea like lobsters and crabs, have got a shell on the outside, and that's the exoskeleton. And every now and then, as the creature grows, the exoskeleton has to be shed and a new one forms. And when that happens, you can see these little empty exoskeletons called exuvii hanging around the backyard, on trees or bushes or on the back door. And they just kind of crawl out. And it's rather curious little sight. And so I talk in my post a bit about how the exoskeleton sheds. Ooh, I see Snooks put something interesting in there. Word road. Take a look at that, Rhonda.
Whoa! Is Andre still here?
No, he's left.
I think Snook's onto something there.
I think Snook is too, and I'm so sorry to interrupt your pimping, but holy moly, that's good.
Yeah, I'm impressed too, Snook. That's a good job, I think. That's awesome.
Thank you. But see what I mean where if something catches your eye, not that you have to use it, but that's what I meant. Where you look at it and you can't, you do a double take.
Yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. And, if they wanted to, they could even put a couple of more books to the left of where
Right.
the D and the,
Right.
where the D and the R come up.
I think
that's
just
really
that. I mean, I would want to extend the hickey deal on the art out just a little more.
Right.
But that's not.
Right.
That's a total non-issue.
Right. Because so the R doesn't look like a K. Right. Exactly. But I
have a Sasquatch in my yard. I got to go see what's going on.
Okay. But
that's
anyway,
quite an announcement to make.
But I thought that was what they were going with the D, where in the thing, in the middle. So
I think what she did, that's awesome. I love that.
So anyway, just so you know, Shadows, you can use it.
Okay.
Well, I'm impressed. That looks really good, Snook, and that's worth the interruption to the pimping. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't really have to acknowledge it when it came up in the chat, but I was so blown away I had to say something. That's awesome.
She is so smart, the Snook.
Well, I used to do it for a living, but so.
Oh, now she tells us.
Well, I told you. I think that.
I never knew that you did that for a living. Did you really?
I was a stripper in the flexo printing industry.
You were a stripper.
Okay,
Yeah.
before this gets too far afield here.
Which then turned into a computer graphic artist when computers came into the picture.
There we go. The kitty girl, did you finish what you were saying?
Pretty much the only thing I was going to add was just, in my post, I talk a little bit about exoskeletons and how they form and what they're made of and so forth. So, yeah, it's a little sciencey, but not real heavy in the science. I kept it very lighthearted and everything. So anybody should be able to read it and understand it. So there.
Actually, I read that post last night and it was really interesting. By the way, kitty girl.
Oh, thank you.
I don't, did I not leave a comment on it? I may have not. I'm sorry if I didn't.
Well, even the posts that I do that are heavy into the science, I try to make it where anyone can understand it and appreciate it and not get too bogged down in all the technical aspects. So try to find that good balance there.
But you do, because I read them. Otherwise, I don't get bored reading them.
Well, there's a good gauge for you, kitty girl. If Snook reads it and doesn't get bored, you've found the balance.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Thank you, kitty girl. Rhonda's checking out her Sasquatch in the driveway, so we'll move to Calumet.
Oh crap, sorry. 1 second, guys. I'll just grab the link. Didn't realise it was me.
I sneak up on you like that, Cal.
That's how it is. Anyway, guys. So I snuck away just before. As I was saying, went over to the GHS community to listen to Andy Santek's show. And within the show, there was a post presented for Dreamsteam. I know, or most of you guys know Dreamsteam anyway. It's a birthday today, and there was a post shared here for her, Dreamsteam means a lot to all of us, and there was a collective of thoughts and messages there shared by her on a birthday. So just to share it, and say, head along if Dreams Team and you want to drop a little message and let her know to have a good day and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good stuff. Dream was there to catch the surprise?
Oh yeah, loads of crying, loads of laughing. It was good.
I was hoping she might pop into here tonight so we could embarrass her a little bit more and fawn over her.
She popped in between the shows. I don't know. She may yet before it's over.
I'm unsure if she was going out. I think it's because I know the timing it was bad, with having the Andy show exactly the same time as people. Sorry guys, I pulled my mic out there. Bad timing having, Andy show the same time as PYPT. I know it's not in her control. But, Andy, Monchichi, Dreamsteam, they're all best friends. So I know Dreamsteam was over there for her show and that decided to do it there. But, yeah, no, it was a lot of laughs.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you, Callie, ma'am. And Chris.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, can't get on the mic. But there's only one thing I got written out this week. It's a little dark, but they won't all be. So this was a letter you received? And Chris is answering that. Just a scenario. All right. We'll have to test that one out. Too bad you can't get on mic.
Well, I do hope Rhonda got a pic of that Sasquatch so she can write a good Steam It post.
Yeah, she's back.
It was glory. But See, I've given her a haircut because she's not able to clean herself real well. She's so fat, and they didn't recognize her with her haircut, and so it's all good. We're all good now.
Oh, the dogs didn't recognize her?
Exactly. The dogs did not recognize her when she came up because she's had a haircut.
Oh, she wouldn't be happy about that.
Oh, she got them straightened out.
She didn't bite you when you give her a haircut or nothing?
No, she actually loved it. I guess it's the vibration of the clippers. There were certain parts, like I couldn't do her paws. There's no way I could do her paws or her legs. But her back and sides, she would like stretch out so I could reach it.
They know what
And
they
she
like.
didn't get mad or nothing.
No, she was just fine. She was very cooperative with the whole process.
I mean, I had an old sheepdog. I give her a haircut, and she get madder than hell. That's why I was just curious.
Yeah, I've had dogs that don't take to it well either. Let somebody else go ahead. Shadows, I'm trying to find the post link that I want to pimp.
Okay, so that means Injun, you're up. And Kitty Girl says a new topic for PYPT, haircuts for raccoons.
Yeah.
This is a post. It's one of the good posts that I like so much from one of our family members, Snowpea. She's had a trying past 6 months, and she's kind of gives thanks that everything has worked out. The dodging the bullets. I know she almost got her kids taken away, and her son has a few personal challenges in his life, just all kinds of things that she's thankful for. So if you want to stop over there and say, yeah, we support you, I'm glad you made it through kind of thing, that'd be great. I'm sure she'd love the feedback.
And she's done a lot of posting on this topic. And some of it's been pretty desperate.
Yeah, she's a positive person. I'm glad that, everything is working out for her. She deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. So Katrina got back. Life happened, she said. Thank you, Injun.
Hello.
So did you find your link, Rhonda?
Yeah, hang on.
I'll give you a few moments there to get your link in.
The problem is that I'm clicking on two different computers, and I'm getting myself confused.
Ah.
This is a post that it's my husband's post, and he's not a writer. He doesn't write, and he's doing this. But the reason that I'm pimping it is because I'm working on a secondary post too, and eventually I'll link to it from this post. He and I are going to start kind of a reciprocating movie review thing. And because sometimes we agree on a movie and sometimes we don't. And so since we're married and argue anyway, I figure it's okay if we argue like on Steam It. So anyway, we may try to hash out these different movies. Thank you, Injun. He can be. Yes, he can. So anyway, we're gonna try. I don't have my post quite ready yet, or I would have pimped it. But I'll pimp his. So just look at it, and then eventually it will have a link to mine and whatnot. And we're gonna try to have some fun with this. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, exactly, Injun. That's what we're thinking is we're going to go back and forth and in the comments too. So you just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So we're going to throw this at the wall and see how we do. Signal is our first review. I think the Father of the Year is going to be our next review. And if you haven't seen that movie, oh my God. Snook talked about laughing so hard she gave herself a facelift. Yeah, that one did it for me. It's it's David Spade, kind of a reprise of Joe Dirt. So it's pretty funny if you like David Spade. So anyhow, that's the post. That's what we're going to be doing, and we'll just see how that goes.
So we've got reciprocating movie reviews, and we've got the chain story going on. There should be lots of updates coming into PYPT.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Rhonda. Engine says he looks forward to it, Hugglesome.
Okay.
I kind of figured that had to be for you. It's not for me.
No, definitely not you.
Nope. All right. The kitty girl, you're up.
Actually, if you could let Snook go, I'm going to present somebody else's post, and they just left the chat. I wanted them in here.
Ah, okay. So Damien is present, correct?
He is.
And Ingenuity is correct? He better
No,
be.
he's not.
He just posted, or just talked.
Damn it.
Engine, are you there? Or maybe not.
Maybe his internet went out.
It could be.
Do I get it done?
He was
there.
He was there when it was drawn. So both of you have won a Steam Basic Income. I'll be sending that out.
Oh, thank you.
And Snook, go ahead.
Snook.
Oh,
I'm
there's the shaved.
How in the world did you able to do that without him clawing your skin off your arms? That's pretty amazing.
She liked it.
Yeah, if she had not wanted me to do it, I would not have done it. So she had to be completely acquiescent to this, and she was. I think she was just itching so bad that it felt good, and now she's, oh, I'm not going to take up the show with this, but yeah, she liked it.
So, tell them the other little stunt that she pulled this morning. Or she gave you directions on where to scratch?
Uh-huh, she pointed to her ear and kept poking me until I scratched her ear.
She's firmly in control.
Yeah, I mean, she like literally took her little foot, and she can't really make a pointy finger, but she kept like pointing. I mean, it was clear what she was doing, and she was pointing. Then she'd look at me and she'd point, and I said, "Okay." So I reached down and scratched her. She's 3, Skip.
So, what's the lifespan for a raccoon?
If she'd been in the wild, she'd be a goner by now. This is about the limit for them in the wild. But raccoons who are cared for or in captivity can live up to 20 years. Now, she does both. She's outside and she's cared for, so who knows?
Yeah. It's a learning process.
Yeah. And she's showing no sign of age. You know, she's mellowing out some and wanting to be petted more than wants to play, but she is yeah, she's not. She's definitely young.
And domesticating herself.
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right. Thanks, Rhonda. Snook.
Well, this is the one I did this morning, but the pictures are really wonderful, and I really like the way she formatted it with the English and Spanish side by side. So I really would like to, pimp it again. These are pictures that she's taken. My daughter-in-law, how do you say it in Spanish?
Echo Instante.
There you go. And
good to see you, Cal.
And I'd like to encourage her so that she posts more, because the pictures that she has this is like the tip of the iceberg of what she has out there, of hummingbirds and little bugs and animals and it's, on a mountain in the middle of nowhere, so the flowers and everything that are around is just gorgeous. And again, her picture taking ability is just really awesome.
She does. She does some great pictures.
Yeah, and she's very picky and very she's a perfectionist. So even if you don't vote on it, if you could leave a nice comment about anything that you like about the post, would help to get her a little bit more relaxed about posting.
So it looks as though one of the other benefits we're getting by her posting on one bird at a time is we're getting to see more of her pictures.
Exactly. Yes. And she was so proud that she followed the suggestion. She had this really, really huge smile on her face when she told me about it. And just letting you know, she's and it was like, can you look at it right now?
No hurry, but now will be good.
Yes. And my son is like shaking his head behind her, like, please look at it now. Yes, exactly. Because yes, exactly. Um, so, like I said, it's not even the vote. It's just if you could put some words of encouragement in there for her, it would really. Well, my son would stop pulling his hair out, and it would help her in the long run. And she has, again, like thousands and thousands of pictures that should be seen and are not.
I
So
quite agree.
we're trying to get her to, realize that it's okay, it's okay to post stuff.
So, Snook, since you have an audience here,
Yeah.
and since you got recruited this afternoon,
Oh, that's right.
yes, would you like to give people the outline of the project?
I would. So what's going to happen is Isaiah is going to write. Well, we're doing this project, and it's going to be. And it needs to be done, finished in a post written by September 1st. And it's a fundraiser and something else combined. But the something else is you'll find out on September 1st. So what's going to happen is Isaiah got the official email from me asking her to write the lyrics to the song that we are all going to sing bits and pieces of, and then they will be emailed to me, and then we will put it together. So we'll do a collective song, and then the proceeds of that will go to a charity.
It'll be split between You Are Hope and Tark.
Correct. Yes. So, any musicians that would like to be in on it, Katrina Ariel, please, if you could get a hold of Isaiah, if you would like an official DM signed by me, I'll send you one. Just send me one that you want one, and I'll send you one. And because it's all about teamwork, and it's all about doing something for good, and it's all about all of us working together. And really, they made me do it, so I'm making you do it.
So, Snook now has an official role on the channel. She's team We Made Snook Do It.
Which made me happier than anything. In an odd sort of way.
You never quite know what's going to happen at PYPT. Or in between.
Right, exactly. And I still I can't figure out how you guys did that to me. I'm usually quite on the ball with that.
There was a motion, there was a seconder, there was a vote, and Bluefin declared it a unanimous.
Within 27 seconds.
Yes. Have I mentioned that I've run a lot of meetings in 40 years?
Yeah, well, you suck.
You'll do a fine job.
Yeah. You can just blame me. Blame me at the end. Thank you, Katrina Ariel.
So, anybody that's willing to take part in the music end of it, whether it's playing the music or singing, you're welcome to do so. In fact,
Yeah.
you're encouraged to.
Yes, please. So, Isaiah is in charge of coming up with some lyrics. She's going to try to mix two different songs together. So I'm sure any kind of input, Katrina, she would highly appreciate. And then once we get the lyrics down with some kind of a beat to send out to people, then we'll make a post, and then people can do like a karaoke kind of a thing with it, because I just really need a voice, and because then we'll add that into the music where it needs to go. So like if you do the whole song, then we can pick out certain pieces that all fit together. And I mean, with editing, you can do just about anything. We can have all of us singing all at one time if there's a chorus or whatever, or something like that. So.
Yeah, you should all do it on Face Rig.
No, we want it. Well, I mean, if you don't, you can. I mean, if you don't want your face shown, you don't have to. But it's your voice. It's just like the karaoke thing. I mean, really, it's your voice, and that you're part of it, and being part of the community that is the Steve Ramble. And again, it's to go to charity, but it's also something bigger and better behind it too. So, and I think at the end you would be very sad that you weren't a part of it. Let's just put it that way.
I think after that gif, I need to wash my eyes with bleach.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that moves up the screen fairly easily. Thank you.
Yeah, somebody type something.
Okay. Thank you, Snook.
You are very welcome.
And
now I'm going to have to go and get my ass in gear and do stuff. So thank you for a really nice night, and have a good weekend, everybody. And I will be back Sunday night, Monday, sometime around there.
Be safe.
I will. Bye.
See ya. And Kitty Girl, you're up.
Well, the person I was wanting to pimp a post for has left the chat. She was sitting in here most of the time and never presented a post of her own. I don't know why people do that. In fact, Snaky did that too. Snaky was in here the whole time, and she had a post that hadn't paid out that she could have presented. So for these shy people that are not presenting, I thought I'd present a post for one of them.
Well,
this one is by Stacy Jean.
Keep in mind that when Snacky comes in, sometimes it's not about her posts. It's about watching the posts that are coming through for You Got Snacked.
Oh, yeah, true. But still, she could put one of hers up. But anyway, Stacy Jean pops in here periodically too, and she sits very quietly watching other people's posts, and she does comment and upvote some of them, but then she doesn't present one of her own. But she does write some good posts. Occasionally she does poetry, which I've actually seen one or two of her poems put to music by some of the people in MSP, like Amber Uper, and it's really awesome. And she's written a lovely poem here that I think is worthy of a little bit of attention and a little bit of love. So, yeah, if everybody could just go in there and just read the poem and leave her a comment and say, you didn't present this in Pimp Your Post, but somebody else did, and we like it, blah, 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 give her a little hug there. It would be awesome.
It's amazing how intimidating the thought of coming on Voice and talking about your own post can be for some people.
Well, and I have heard her get on Voice before in other servers and talk. So I don't think it's really an issue of shyness. It's maybe that she just doesn't think her stuff's good enough. I don't know. Who knows what it is? I don't know. But
she wouldn't be the first one on that. You may have a point there.
That's true, because she definitely has some good things she's written, both prose and poetry. But the poetry is what I really like she does.
Those girls are my Marines, don't you?
Those ladies are Marines, yes.
Those KD and Stacy are both my Marines.
I knew Stacy was, but I did not know KD was.
Yeah.
Yes, both of them are. They are great gals. Great gals.
All right. Thank you, kitty girl. And Katrina, you are up.
Is this thing on?
It's on. Twice in one day. Ooh.
Well, I just jumped out and back in. So some of you, trying to anticipate these things, some of you have probably saw this post this morning. For those of you who weren't here this morning, this is the latest music post that I've done. And I'm sharing this again, mostly as an excuse to share some news that makes me really excited. Sir Cork is bringing a whole truckload of gear to the meetup in Georgia in August. And so this Midnight Train to Georgia cover is partially in anticipation of going to Georgia and meeting up with some friends. But he didn't have a 12-string, and I play a 12-string a lot. I played a 12-string in this song, and I'm like, well, can you rent a 12-string for the week? Can we get one somehow? And yeah, so Sir Cork now owns 2 12-strings as of today. So I'm excited. There's going to be some fun instruments to play, and we'll be making music. And whatever it is that Snook is up to, maybe we'll be able to do some of that there as well.
That's a possibility. Maybe have a chat with Snook.
Yes, I will. I'll see what all that's about. But yeah, I've been really enjoying sharing my music and sharing music with other people, and that's a really positive thing. I think most people who are into music, when we're able to share it in a positive way, you feel really alive, and that's wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you.
Okay. Has anyone else got anything else they'd like to present? And it looks not. So, you've been listening to Shadows Pub host Pimp Your Post Thursday, evening edition from the Steam at Ramble. And until next time, it's all about community. And good night, Wilma.